Come on, guys. Concord wasn't really that bad, Let's just forget about it. Let's just talk about it briefly. Let's act like the game never existed. Come on, man. It's like beating a dead horse down. Like, what's wrong with you people?
To others, but we'll break down these rumors of an upcoming state of play, talk about the PlayStation 5 Pro, which I still think is probably going to bomb. And I want
The PlayStation 5 Pro is going to bomb because there's no games for people that want to buy it. I mean, listen, man. It really hurts me to do these negative, Sony propaganda videos, but we're going to talk about it briefly because we're going to just act like Concord never came out. And because we know if this was an Xbox game, you'd be talking about it throughout the whole video.
Discuss the failure of Concord briefly because it does seem just incredible that Sony spent $300 million on a game that can't even get 300 players.
But it's okay though. I went out there and bought a copy. What is wrong with you people not liking Concord? This is ridiculous. I thought you was a PlayStation fanboy. You see? And people are like, oh, see, Gabe said he's talking about the negativity of play. No. He said briefly. Okay? This man has been ducking this whole topic for about 3 to 4 days, man. It's crazy. We already know what his next video is. Xbox sucks. Xbox is dead. Because every time Sony go out like that, he got to find a way to change the narrative and make it feel like Xbox gamers are going through the same thing. When in reality, it's just you PlayStation ponies. You people got to cut this out, man. The fact that you guys don't even want to talk about how bad Concord failed goes to show you how much of a fanboy you really are. I don't care if you PlayStation channels decide to bring it up. Make a conclusive video as to why you believe the game failed. But instead, you want to act like the game never came out and never existed. All these 8 years that Sony wasn't a waste. Because we still looking for the Black Myth Wukong and Call of Duty.
And if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It got released. Sony's devs talk about this is that they didn't expect 4K TVs to be so instantly prevalent.
See, the problem with that, though, is the fact that a lot of those games weren't even 4K.
We're buying a bunch of 4K monitors. 4K.
It was a scam. Sony lied to the community, but let's point our finger at Phil. So we're going to sit there and act like none of these multi-billion or multi-trillion-dollar companies have ever lied to you. Thank you. Thank you for even bringing that up because, look, I just exposed your own hypocrisy.
Visuals and stuff like that. So they needed to release a device that played PS4 games, but
they already had one that played PS4 games. It was called the PS4 Slim.
Checkerboard upscaling. It had
checkerboard upscaling.
A version of 4K, even if it wasn't native 4K. But when it
neither is the PlayStation 5.
Comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro versus the PlayStation 5, the visuals of the PS5 are pretty dang good already.
No.
It's a matter of pushing those hardware limits.
I'm telling you, man, these consoles are not as powerful as you people want to imagine, bro. I think these companies are not pushing these consoles to their limits, but it's very marginal, bro. I'm telling you, man, maybe for the last 2 or 3 years, we might see, some real next generation games, but all they're doing is stalling the inevitable. They can't throw these type of games at you right now because if they do, you guys are going to get used to it and you're going to expect to have a new console, right? That's why the Pro's even being talked about. And the Pro's only being talked about is to help improve the existing games. It's not going to help Grand Theft Auto 6.
Played something like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. If you play that on quality mode, it doesn't look the best. The game is clearly just so visual.
You hear that, bro? The game don't look its best. You see, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which happens to be listen what I'm about to say, an Unreal Engine 4 game, and it's already struggling to look its best on the PS5.
Insane. The power of the PS5 just can't keep up. It seems like it's made.
I thought the PlayStation, but hold on, didn't you just say the PS5, had more capabilities, and now you're saying that the PS5 is at its limits? Do you guys understand how embarrassing this is that these consoles have already been capped out already? Are you serious, bro? These consoles been capped out since the generation even started.
like that. I actually just posted a big...
Now all we can look forward to is to have some good games to play. I mean, you guys all got scammed. Anybody that went out there and picked up a Series X and a PS5, you guys got scammed. I don't care, man. I'm going to say it because I am definitely disappointed in how Microsoft and Sony are treating their platforms now. Seriously. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said, Microsoft is still, catering to their console gamer, but you can see that PC gaming is the main platform. It's always kind of been like that because most of your games are developed with PC anyway, but now you're starting to see PC is probably the best way to play games. Personally, if I didn't have all my retro gaming consoles, I more likely would have played on PC.
Review for Star Wars Outlaws, and people are kind of mad because I said it doesn't suck that bad. That game is getting 5s and 6s from some websites. I said it's a 7 out of 10, so people are saying I enjoyed it too much, but
I know it doesn't even look that bad of a game.
People that are not happy specifically about this rumor because it is a state of play. Now, if you're new to the channel, perhaps you don't really know the difference, but Sony does state of plays and they do showcases. Now, typically, showcases is a giant catalog. It's a bunch of stuff, typically from third-party developers, first-party stuff. It's release dates, it's gameplays, and usually they're an hour long. It's a reason to not only be happy with the PlayStation 5, but to be excited about what's coming next.
Well, look at it. I mean, at least you guys are excited to play some Xbox games. And to be honest with you, man, Sony ain't been holding it down, bro. They ain't been holding it down, man. And it's so hurtful to see because it's wow, bro. Y'all are just doing state of plays. Y'all ain't even doing PlayStation showcases because y'all don't got enough games to show. That's crazy. Now, thank you, Dreamcast guy, for mentioning that a showcase is more representative of what the company's doing than a state of play, which is very similar to a Nintendo Direct.
State of plays, 95% of the time, they're focused on a major game of here's the Ghost of Tsushima state of play or a Concord state of play and stuff like that. So the fact that they're doing a state of play and not a a lot of times, Sony likes to try and cover up bad news as fast as possible. They're announcing something bad.
Yeah, just like you, not talking about this for the past 3 to 4 days. And now all of a sudden you want to talk about it now.
Let's announce something good. And right now, Sony does need some good news because there has been a lot of silence. I've been talking about this a lot for the last couple years, but this entire console generation, a lot of people are not happy with it, predominantly because it does feel like Sony in the past would deliver a lot of good.
No, it's so funny because now you guys want to bring this up to an argument. I was saying this as soon as these consoles launched. People know, man, I've been talking about this ever since Gotham Knights was coming out, bro. And y'all were complaining about how that game was at 30 FPS. And remember what I told you guys? I said, expect more of this, and look what happened. We got more games at 30 FPS. Nothing has changed. 4K, 120 frames, all those were lies, man. All you guys believed all the lies on those boxes.
Games, Spider-Man, God of War, Gran Turismo, Uncharted, obviously you can list...
Uncharted didn't even get what are you talking about, bro? Uncharted didn't even get a new game.
A million good
They got a remaster, but they didn't get a new game.
5 exclusives, but the dealio with this generation has been not only less games overall, less big exclusives. They're relying on Square Enix and stuff to make a lot of the exclusives.
Woo!
I think part of it just comes down to the fact that even if you scroll through a list of games, a list of PS5 exclusives, a lot of them are just meh, I enjoy.
Now he finally admitted it.
Play a lot of this, freaking Intergrade. God, I love that. Rebirth, FF16. Oh no, Forspoken. I just remember that existed. My dealio is the fact that I feel like right now people are not excited about the future of the PlayStation because we're just not hearing about games. Even if the PS5 itself,
we're hearing more about Xbox
selling like crazy. There hasn't been a lot of big hype. There isn't.
Wow, now he's actually being honest. That's crazy, man. The things that I've been telling you guys, now all of a sudden he wants to admit it.
We're analyzing trailers and stuff like that. I do think that Astro's Playroom is going to be a big success, or that new Astrobot game. But I think a lot of people are going, what comes next? We do know that Death Stranding 2 is going to be a PS5 exclusive, and they're showing up at Tokyo Game Show. So that's coming up at the end of September.
This is sad
today.
Bro.
I feel
I really hate to see this for Sony.
If you look at the sales numbers, people are not only buying the PlayStation 5 4-to-1 more than any other console, but
he didn't want to say Xbox.
Additionally, the fact that people are buying every game on the PS5, so Sony's getting a free cut. They're getting cash for zero work.
Did he just say that people are actually buying games on the PS5, bro? People are not buying no exclusive games on PS5, bro. Like, see, this is the problem with you PlayStation fanboys, man. It's like you guys don't want to admit what's really going. Your games are not selling, okay? You don't matter no more. That's like me asking Cody, "Oh, Cody, please come up with a Ninja Gaiden 4. You know, there's an audience." Like, bro, that's me lying to myself. Now, as good as that would be for the real gamers, but I already know the game's gonna flop and fail. That's why they said, we got to make Ninja Gaiden, but we got to turn it into Neo now because people ain't gonna buy a Ninja Gaiden outright. The game was too hard for them.
And I feel like this is making a weird ecosystem where they're not desperate for our dollars. They're not actually trying to churn out the same output of games that we got in the PS4 generation.
You know why that is?
How much the PS3...
You know why that is? Because subscriptions is where they're getting most of their money. Regardless of people are buying Call of Duty on Xbox or PlayStation, you're paying Sony, how much money you got your subscription service at, every year to just play Call of Duty. That's enough to keep a console afloat without even having to come out with games. See, that's what you people don't understand. I told you guys that service and subscriptions to companies is more important than games. It's so important so that Sony don't even need to make games and they could just keep relying on their hardware subscription services for the people that do want to pay for Call of Duty and NBA 2K. That's enough for Sony to continue on. That's enough. They don't even need to make games anymore, bro, because they know people picking up the PlayStation 5 for Grand Theft Auto 6, and you got to pay for online. That's enough to keep Sony alive for another 8 years just because of that game alone. They're making more money off that than if they just went out there and sold you games.
Struggled. I think they focused on good games. The fact that PlayStation 3 generation, we got the entire Uncharted trilogy, we had so much freaking stuff, and now, 2 generations later, we're getting so little PS5 goodness. I want this state of play to kind of tease the future of PlayStation.
This man about to get his feelings hurt again.
It doesn't all have to be concrete, insane details.
Let's go.
Just show us some teases at least. Sony, please. I feel like there has been...
Sony, please, man. This man's begging. Look, he's begging.
No, it doesn't all have to
Sony,
be...
please.
Concrete, insane details.
Listen.
Just show us some teases at least. Sony, please. I feel like...
Dang, the way he said it too, like, Sony, please. Sony, please. Sony, please. Like, I've been here, damage controlling for you, and just Sony, please. Like, you can see the look in this man's eyes, bro. Like, Sony, do something.
There has been, honestly, a lot of hate being directed towards PlayStation 4.
Yeah, there's a lot of hate towards everybody, but like I said, man, PlayStation 5 is definitely dropping the ball in regards to any of their previous consoles.
Their silence, honestly, more than anything else. The fact that now, like, if the only thing you've released this year is Helldivers 2, which is technically second party that was paid and funded exclusively for PlayStation, but Arrowhead is a third party studio.
You see? See, none of your games are actually exclusive, guys, and this is why I try to tell you people.
Sony paid $300 million is the rumor to make Concord. $300 million to buy the studio to fund this.
And I did the math, right? Like, if there was 500 people that went out there and bought Concord, they only made about like $20,000. You know, if you bought the lowest tier version of the game, that is quite pathetic.
Games creation, and it bombed. And now they're just advertising such an expensive dud. PlayStation, it's time to bounce back. It's time to actually advertise what's coming next. Show us an Atreus spin-off game. Show us that there's rumors of a new freaking Uncharted with maybe his daughter taking over.
Oh my God. Before it was with his son. No, before it was with his brother. Now they're going to try to have his son. Bro, I mean, I'm just getting tired of it, bro. It's all the same tropes.
Which would be cool. Cassie Drake. I'd totally be down for that. I don't know. Show us more Demon Souls or something. I don't know.
Wow.
A Bloodborne remake. I don't know.
Wow. He's desperate. He would even go as far for a Bloodborne remake. Now, I'm hearing a lot of people talking about that game, so I would assume that game should come out. I heard it's definitely being worked on. But like I said again, guys, what you bought was a remake station. Xbox gamers, they're getting new games. Y'all getting remasters and remakes. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's embarrassing. Like, I hate to break it to you, ponies, but this is some hurtful news.
I'm brain dead because I just literally went in 100-degree heat 6 miles. But, hi! I hope you're having a good day. Please, if you could, give this video a like and tell me what you think in the...
Wow, man, that's unbelievable. I'll tell you guys what I think. Y'all ready for this?